All right. Well, how's everybody doing today? Awesome. Well, welcome to the Wings of America Bird Show. My name is Alyssa.
My name is Sam.
And we both work for an organization called the American Eagle Foundation. So our job is to teach all of you about wildlife conservation with a focus on birds of prey. And our goal of today's show is to hopefully inspire everyone here with us to want to go home and become a conservationist for yourself. Now we're going to do this though by bringing you guys up close and personal with wildlife today. So today we are not just going to be keeping the birds up here on the stage. We're going to be bringing the birds down there to you. So our birds are going to be getting walked up and down these aisles and even flown over some of your heads. So today you guys are probably going to be getting closer to birds of prey than you ever have been before. But since we are going to be getting so up close and personal, I do just have a couple of quick safety precautions to go over, just to ensure that everyone has a fun and safe experience with us today. So with that being said, our first and most important rule, it's about food. Now our birds are trained to fly to food, so we just ask that if you brought any with you today, you just keep it tucked away and out of sight, because we do have a bird flying in today's show, and she has learned that she is very fond of cinnamon bread. She also really likes popcorn and the hickory house sandwiches. I've seen her go for all three. So if you brought any food with you today, please make sure that they are tucked underneath those benches for us. Now next, I just want to ask that nobody try to pet or touch any of the birds that you're going to be seeing today. We know it's going to be tempting. They will be coming very close. But it's important to remember they are still wild animals. They don't like to be pet, and we want to be respectful of that. Now lastly, I just want to ask that you guys please keep these aisles clear for us to navigate, and please refrain from standing up and out of your seats while we have a bird out. This is just because our birds can get really spooked by any unexpected movement. So if you guys do have to enter or exit the theater at any point, please do not do so until us and the birds are completely behind the stage. Now, those are all of my main rules that I had to go over, but there is one last thing that I wanted to touch on. So our birds here are very well trained. However, there is still one type of training that they just cannot figure out. That would be the art of the potty training. So, in the unlikely event that a bird flies above your heads and lands in those rafters above you all, don't do what most of this middle section just did and stare up with your mouths wide open. It will not be free ice cream falling from the sky, you guys, I promise. But all gross jokes aside, that is everything that I had to cover before we can get started. So, who's ready to see some awesome birds? That was sad, wasn't that sad? Guys, I know that we can do better than that because our birds fly on enthusiasm, and I didn't hear a drop of it. So we're gonna try that again one more time, but this time, I need to hear every single person in this theater cheering, okay? Now, who's ready to see some awesome birds? That's a lot better, don't you think?
All right, y'all. Well, do we have any owl lovers out here today? Yeah. Awesome. Actually, no, I guess I probably should say who out here is an owl lover. Everyone, this here is Buster, and Alyssa over there has Gimli. Now, with a quick show of hands, who here thinks that these guys are baby owls? See a couple hands, all right. Who here says that they're adult owls? Lots of hands, okay. Well, who here says don't know, don't care, if that's just not the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life? Great answer. Well, as it turns out, these two guys are actually fully grown, adult eastern screech owls. This is as big as they are ever going to get. Now, the term screech owl is kind of a misleading name because these guys don't actually screech, but they also don't make that cooing noise that you might think owls make. Instead, they make kind of a wavering whistle noise that sounds like this. pretty cool, right? Now as we're walking these guys around, I want y'all to look at those two tufts sticking out of the tops of their heads. Now a lot of people think that these are their ears, but these things actually have nothing to do with hearing at all. Instead, these two tufts, which are called plumicorns, if you want to be really cool, they are actually used for camouflage. So if Buster and Gimli were out in the wild, and a big, scary predator came along, they would stick those tufts straight up into the air, make their bodies as tall and as skinny as possible, and this would break up their silhouettes and just make them look like normal tree bark. Now, you may have noticed that our two screech owls are two different colors. There are different colors of tree bark out there, so naturally, there's just different colors of screech owls. Gimli, over there with Alyssa, is called a red-phased screech owl because he's kind of reddish color. Buster, over here with me, is called a gray-phased screech owl. I can't imagine why. And there's actually a third type of screech owl out there. Some absolute doggone genius went out there and named that one the brown-faced screech owl. We'll never know what color that one is. Now, y'all might be wondering why these two guys are here with us. So I'll start with Buster. As I've been walking him around, y'all might have noticed something kind of unique about him. Buster is actually missing one of his eyes. He only has one eye. Sadly, he was found out in the wild after he was hit by a car. This gave him an eye injury called a detached retina, basically just causing him a lot of irritation, a lot of pain in that one eye. So the amazing vets over at the University of Tennessee decided it was in his best interest to remove it. But don't worry, he is perfectly happy and healthy with just one. Now Gimli, our other screech owl, the exact same thing also happened to him. He was also hit by a car out in the wild. And this is actually the biggest threat that these guys face. It's us and our vehicles. A screech owl will just be hanging out on the side of the road, in a tree or on a fence, and get spooked by an oncoming car. And they may accidentally fly right into its path. Now, if this ever were to happen to you, don't worry, you can actually help these guys out. We recommend just wrapping them up in something soft like a blanket, a towel, a shirt, whatever you've got on hand. Just not using your bare hands, because while these guys are small and cute, those talons are not small and cute. And they hurt, trust me. And once you've got them wrapped up, just simply call your nearest vet or wildlife rehab center. Or even better, if y'all are around this area, just simply call us at American Eagle Foundation, and we will happily come out and get them from you. But I will say this, if y'all are going to call us, please do make sure that you're calling American Eagle Foundation. Not, this happens, American Eagle Outfitters. They will not answer. They will just sell you jeans. Now I know what y'all are thinking. Oh my gosh, Buster and Gimli are so cute. I just want to take them home and keep them forever. Well, congratulations. That's illegal. But there is actually one thing that y'all can do to attract one of these guys out in the wild, wherever you may live. Up on these screens is going to be a QR code, and this gives you plans to build your very own screech owl nest box. We've actually got one right here, so you can see what that looks like. But these things make a great home for these little owls. They're the perfect size for these guys, whatever small bird and prey you may have in your area. And the crazy thing is, you actually really want one of these guys around your house or your property, because they make a great natural pest deterrent. They will happily help out with all of your rodent, insect, and even spider problems. Now, Buster and Gimli are the smallest birds you're going to see in our show, but does anyone want to take a guess at how much they think they weigh? Just shout it out. 3 pounds? 1 pound? 160, is that? Oh my gosh. Well, I'm just kidding. Okay, so these guys actually weigh in at an insane, mighty, earth-crushing. My arm is about to fall off because Buster weighs a whopping 5 ounces. Wow. 5 ounces. So you really can't say that these guys are light as a feather. Sorry. All right, how about it one more time for our adorable little screech owls, Buster and Gimli.
All right, everyone. Now, before we can bring out our next bird, I have a very important question to ask all of you. What do you guys think about vultures? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Oh, I love to see that. I see a lot of thumbs ups in the air. And I love to see that, but I will also be the first to tell you guys that's not typically the reaction I get. And that is because the vast majority of people tend to see vultures as these ugly, stupid, and nasty animals. But we're here today to tell you guys that vultures are so much more than these misconceptions. Vultures are actually incredibly intelligent, incredibly important to our ecosystems, and in my opinion, incredibly beautiful birds. So with that being said, I would like for everyone to please give a very warm welcome to our brainy and beautiful black vulture, Miss Buzz. Now, Buzz here is a black vulture, which is one of two native species of vultures that you can find here in East Tennessee. The other being the familiar turkey vulture, which you guys can recognize by its iconic brick red head. Now, black vultures are a little bit smaller in size, and they don't have that bright red head, but they are alike in terms of intelligence. So these are actually some of the smartest birds that we work with here at Wings of America. Some scientists actually estimate that they are roughly as intelligent as an average 4-year-old human child is. These guys have been known to recognize faces and even be able to solve some simple puzzles, such as puzzle beaters. Now, as Buzz flies over your heads and provides you all with some free air conditioning today, you guys may be able to hear her making some noises. Rather, you may be able to hear her making some grunting and hissing sounds. And this is actually because vultures lack a voice box. So these are the only types of noises that they are capable of making. And on top of that, her wings also make a ton of noise. She is definitely not a silent flying bird, such as an owl is. So it's a good thing that they really don't have to sneak up on their prey. Now, speaking of their prey, I think we all know what vultures like to eat. Go ahead and shout it out at me. Carrion. Yeah, you guys are 100% right. These guys do prefer their meat a little bit more aged. I think someone's not ready for the spotlight to be over. Now, some of you guys may find them a bit off-putting because of their diet, but this is actually exactly why we need vultures in our environment. Vultures are essentially nature's cleanup crew. They help keep our ecosystems looking and smelling beautiful. But on top of that, they actually have a much more important job in that they can actually help eradicate the spread of dangerous diseases, such as rabies, anthrax, and even botulism. And they can do this thanks to super strong stomach acids, which allow them to break down those viruses entirely. So I hope that Miss Buzz here has changed a few minds on vultures and has inspired you all to take an interest in their conservation. So if you guys see a vulture out in the wild, don't be afraid of it, don't be grossed out by it, just simply keep calm and carry on. So, what did you guys think of Buzz, our black vulture?
Oh yeah, they were like amazing.
All right, well, I'd like to introduce y'all to a bird that actually likes me. This is Rocky, the Merlin. Now, I know that Rocky is not very intimidating, but if y'all were a songbird, y'all would be horrified right now. See, Merlins are a small species of falcons, and falcons love to hunt other birds. These birds are actually very smart, because they'll actually group up into pairs to catch larger birds. So normally by themselves, they'd only be able to catch stuff like small hummingbirds, but when they team up, they can catch prey as large as robins. Now, you will not find one of these guys around here. If you find a Merlin in the Great Smoky Mountains, please call us. I want him back. Now, these guys are actually from up north in Canada and the very tip top of the United States. They love to hunt in the tundra where it's flat and a little bit colder. Now, as I'm bringing Rocky around, I want y'all to look at these cool stripes on his wings and on his chest. These are especially cool because they're actually unique to Rocky. It's just like our fingerprints, if you want to see it that way. No other Merlin has the exact same pattern. I know you're hungry, I'm sorry. Now, I also want y'all to look at those stripes under his eyes. If y'all have ever played sports like baseball or football, you might be familiar with these. They're called mallard marks. People put this under our eyes so that we can blot out the sun. And this is actually what it does for Merlins. It helps block out the sun while they're hunting. Now, Merlins are cool because they're one of the first species of birds that humans ever interacted with. Back in the olden days, these guys were flown by queens and other people of royalty in something called falconry, which is where people have trained these guys to hunt stuff for us. And it's actually still happening today. Now, Rocky actually came to us at American Eagle Foundation after he was found with a wing injury out in the wild. That's why one of his wings droops down a little bit. But while he was with us, he developed something called glaucoma in one of his eyes. And sadly, it got so bad that that one eye had to be removed. So just like Buster, he's only got one eye, and that makes him non-releasable. But don't feel too bad for him. He is absolutely spoiled here with us. He's got free food, free health care. I clean up all his poop. It's great. I did it 5 minutes ago. So how about it one more time for our adorable little guy, Mr. Rocky.
All right, everyone. All of you owl lovers are in luck today because I actually have one more owl to introduce you all to. So with that being said, I would like for you all to meet Desi, our desert eagle owl. Now, Desi here is a really cool species because he is non-native. You cannot find an eagle owl here in Tennessee, and you actually cannot find them anywhere in the entire United States. If you want to see one of these birds out in the wild, you would have to book a plane ticket to Saudi Arabia to do so. Now, for some of you bird fans in the audience though, as many neck bones as us humans do. So we only have 7, and believe it or not, giraffes also only have 7. Theirs are just really big, but owls have 14. And those extra neck bones allow for that flexibility in their necks. It's not just for professionals. There are so many ways that you guys can get involved to help the birds of prey around us. And to tell you a little bit more about that, I am going to welcome Sam back out into the stage to tell you a little bit more about that.
All right, well, like Alyssa said, we want to thank y'all for coming out to our show. Without y'all's support, we could not do what we do, and our birds would not have a second chance at life. So with all that being said, at American Eagle Foundation, we are a nonprofit, so that means that we heavily rely on donations from the public. So after our show, we will be taking donations. Any amount at all that you are able to give would be appreciated so very much. Anywhere from $1 to $10 to most of your bank account. Because while our birds are adorable and we love them very much, they're not cheap to take care of. And every single cent that y'all give goes right into their care. Well, we won't send you home empty-handed. For a $5 donation, y'all can get one of our limited edition Eagle Foundation stickers. These things look great on anything, cars, laptops, water bottles. This will be the least expensive thing you get at Dollywood. And that's just how it is. But we do have something that's a little bit more fun. We have discovered that some of our birds are very gifted artists. No, he really can't paint. Look, so this is Friar Tuck. Y'all might have seen him in our barn over there. He paints using these sponges. And then Buzz, our black vulture, also does these paintings. I can't believe I'm advertising for Buzz after that nonsense she pulled, but this is where we are. So, those are both for a $20 donation. So, with all that being said, I'll be up here taking donations, answering any questions y'all might have. Thank you so much again for coming out to our show. I hope that everyone had fun, learned a lot, and y'all have a great rest of your day here at Dollywood.